Is emotional attachment to belongings holding you back? If you've ever had to settle an estate or sell a home due to an aging parent, you know what I'm talking about, especially if your parents had lived in that home for years and years. In the case of my parents, they bought that house when my mom was pregnant with me, so I'm 54. That house is my childhood. That's my memories. That's home for me, and it always will be. And my sister and my brother feel the same way. Both my parents are still alive and living there. I know that the day will come when I'm going to have to take care of their home. We've already tried to come up with a plan to deal with that because we know it's going to be very emotional because you're going through all these things, and when your parents have lived in a house as long as mine have, you're going to pick up a photo book and you're going to look through it because my mom probably has 50 photo albums in her house. And each one you're going to be thinking back to that memory. You have to have a plan in place. You don't want to take 6 months to get a house ready to go on the market because everybody comes over and you're there for 8 hours, but you're not really getting anything accomplished because you're strolling down memory lane. So, some tips that I tell people to deal with this is number one, have a cleaning party and invite everyone in the family to come to the house. Let people go through and tag what it is that they want to keep and then set up a pickup date. I get that you want the china cabinet or the armoire or whatever, but we need you to have it picked up and out of the house by this date. That way, you're not leaving any family members out. People can tag what they want, and then you know what items are going out of the house and then what items you actually need to sort through. You want to prioritize your key keepsakes, whether it's a photo album or whether it's an heirloom or whether it's a piece of jewelry. Figure out which items are the most important to you to keep. The great thing about living in today's world is that we have a phone at our disposal at all times. So any of the other items that you're like, man, I just hate to get rid of that, it holds so many memories, take a picture of it. If you're not going to use that particular item in your day-to-day life, just take a picture of it. And then you can create like a digital scrapbook of your parents' home, or you could even get one of those skylight photo frames, send all the photos to it, and you remember the memories when you see that photo pop up. The next thing I would tell you to do is to set a deadline for yourself. You want to break down everything that, okay, we're going to do the kitchen today. We're going to do the living room tomorrow. Just set a schedule for yourself and then stay on track of meeting your deadlines. And I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of times people are like, look, you need to tell me when you've got a photographer lined up, and that way I know I have a deadline and we'll work and get it done. I do that for a lot of people. I'll say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and schedule them. And I'll try to give them like a 3-week time frame if that's what they tell me they need. If they tell me they need longer, then we'll go out longer. But they have to understand we need the house cleaned out. We need a deep clean of the house done before the photographer comes. Try to make yourself a deadline and stay on track for that. Find a charity that you can donate items to that you know nobody is going to take. And then the last thing is focus on the end goal. You want to get that home sold. If you're having to move a family member into a facility, then more than likely they're going to need the proceeds from the sale in order to fund their room at that facility. Or if you're having to sell the home to settle an estate, the probate court is probably going to have a timeline for you as well. So know what your deadlines are, work to meet those goals. And if you're looking for an agent who is sympathetic to this process and who can guide you through, make sure you send me a DM.